My life has been plagued with injuries, fear, regrets, and most recently I've been feeling completely lost due to a severe detached and torn labrum in my right hip that requires surgery and up to 8 months recovery.
So you have a pretty big labral detachment?
In the last 25 years, I've never faced a bigger challenge or been more scared. My passion in life is making a difference in the world. I'm thankful I use snowboarding as my vehicle. I snowboard to have a creative expression, feel alive, connect with others, and to have an identity. The downside of the life I've created is I'm one mistake away from everything going wrong. My whole livelihood is wrapped around my ability to snowboard, and if I can't do that, I can't pay rent, help others, and I lose the person I become. But this isn't the first struggle I've faced from an injury. When I was 17 years old, I broke my back and I faced the hardest time in my life. Fear completely paralyzed my snowboarding for the next 3 years, but I'm proud to say I've overcome the fear, the injury, and I'm a better snowboarder now than I have ever been, but that's not without sacrifice or pain every day. Living in constant pain makes me feel human, but getting hip surgery to remove the pain has the potential to end my career or completely rejuvenate my passion for snowboarding. I'm here today to help you overcome the struggles of injuries and fear, and hopefully you can learn from my experiences. Now, when it comes to fear and overcoming injuries, it's extremely important to have a support system. That support system could be friends, family, significant others, or even doctors, but you need somebody who's gonna be there for you. Now, for me, I need somebody to essentially have a BS detector and identify what was really going on, both in my heart and in my head. So my big challenge was I was lying to everybody, saying that I was fine and I'm okay and I'm not scared, but at the end of the day, I was petrified. I would be hitting a 5-foot jump, which is very benign for me at that time. I was hitting jumps that are 10 times bigger than that, but I was so scared, but I didn't want anybody to know that because I wasn't the rider I once was. I'm trying to be that person. So I needed somebody, Krista, to really identify where I was. More importantly, she was able to help me move forward. And she did that in such ways that allowed me to build my confidence when it comes to hitting jumps, but having somebody help there and build me a plan and be there through the ups and downs through an injury, it's extremely important. So try to find somebody that's got your back. I'm gonna interrupt real quick. Do you love this style of video and you wanna see the content become more awesome and awesome and awesome? Well, consider picking up a sticker because that helps get really cool camera gear, pay for editors, and make the content as awesome as possible. All right, let's get back to it. So the next thing that we got to focus on is preventing that injury from happening again. Now, essentially, was that injury caused by a fluke accident or was it a lack of skill, a lack of awareness? Was it body position? And I would argue that 95% of people are in a dangerous and less optimal body position that can put you in a dangerous and vulnerable position every time you go snowboard. And I know this because I was that rider. 50% of the time I caught air or did a trick, I would crash. And sometimes it's not a big deal. And sometimes I break my back. There's so many times that I put myself in a dangerous position. For me, I had to reconfigure my whole entire snowboard style. I had to reconfigure how I stood on a snowboard and how I moved. And I'm a better snowboarder now than I was when I was like riding for all these companies, sponsored, competing and traveling. Fear is something that will never go away. Even the greatest athletes in the world have fear, but their threshold is way higher than most. And what I mean is for a professional snowboarder, their fear kicks in when doing something completely new, like attempting a quad cork or hitting a 100-foot jump for the first time. But for most people, fear kicks in at the 360 or 20-foot jump. Everyone has fear, but at what point does the fear take over? Fear has absolutely controlled my life, my decisions, and has changed the path of my snowboarding. Overcoming fear was not easy, but here are some few tactics that I use that can definitely help you. So let's say that you're snowboarding again, but you have a lot of fear that's in the back of your head. Well, I highly recommend that you start small and progress your way up. So what I did after breaking my back, I had the biggest fear of hitting jumps. So what I did was I hit a 5-foot jump 20, 30, 40 times before I ever moved on. Now, the reason I did that is because I was so scared to move on, but more importantly, along that journey, I was able to go, oh, I went a little too big. I went a little too small. I went just perfectly the way I should. And throughout that journey of the 50 attempts, I didn't crash. So I started building the association of landing tricks and staying on my feet and not hurting with catching some air. Now, I had to really train my body and my mind to be connected and trust one another. Now, I did spend literally hours on hours on hours hiking a 5-foot jump. And I would finally feel like, I'm kind of bored, this seems too easy. And then that's a good indication that it was time for me to move on. But I didn't move on to the gnarliest jump. I moved on to a very small jump that was maybe 3 feet, 4 feet, or even 5 feet bigger, and started that process all over again. And I knew I was ready because thinking about the next jump wasn't scary anymore. If you found any value in this video, definitely share it with a friend because we don't know what kind of struggles people are going through, and if we can help them overcome an injury, let's do it, right? Also, I want to hear from you. Let me know down in the comments below, did I miss anything? And what are the struggles that you're going through so I can make more content that's going to make a difference? That's the goal of the channel, is to make you more awesome. So on that note, guys, nothing but love. We out.